What is the status of the ANC and its leadership in KwaZulu-Natal? Well, the High Court in the province has delegitimized the outcomes of the November 2015 elective conference. So, what are the implications for the highly contested December National Elective Conference? The Politburo is now in session. We're coming to you live from Durban. I'm Xoli Mngambi. Now remember to be part of the conversation. You can send us your WhatsApp video comments to the number 082-884-6370. Now, in the Politburo to discuss the consequences of the Pietermaritzburg High Court judgment, I'm joined by political analyst Zakhele Ndlovu and Sunday Times senior journalist Nathi Oliphant. But first, we begin with Judge Jerome Mnguni, who delivered the very, very short judgment.
The order is as follows. 1. The 8th KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Elective Conference of the African National Congress held at Pietermaritzburg from 6 to 8 November 2015, and decisions taken at that conference are declared unlawful and void.
Obviously, our immediate expectation is that the NEC should then order the comrades to vacate the office and institute perhaps or place an interim structure that is going to oversee the processes of rebuilding of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal.
What they would like to see is obviously not going to be what is going to happen. We are a provincial executive committee. We will meet later today, determine our next course of action, and as I said to you, it's quite inevitable that this matter is going to be taken to the High Court, higher than the one we are in today. And when that happens, the status quo remains. We are the provincial executive committee and we would want to appeal to them and all other members of the ANC that while we respect this judgment and the other possible unfolding legal proceedings that are going to happen, let's all of us be dignified, let's all of us be comradely and do things in a manner that is befitting for the African National Congress.
All right, gentlemen, let's get into it. Nathi Oliphant, let me start with you. Let's be fair. You and I have been following the ANC in the province after that High Court judgment. They called for cool heads, that's the leadership. Have you seen anything to the contrary? In terms of violent skirmishes?
Yeah, but I think stemming especially from the press briefing, that marathon press briefing they held on Wednesday, you could see that there were contradictions, that have emerged, and they've got far-reaching implications, because now statements, trying to withdraw some of the utterances happened then. We can see it's leading to certain contradictions, and I think it's what you're going to see. We interviewed the Secretary Mzimkhulu and what also the Deputy Chair of the province said in Mpumalanga yesterday. It kind of talks to a scenario whereby you can see that many voices, are tempering, with the decision and the outcomes, and obviously preempting what the NEC might do or say in future.
Interestingly, Babu Ndlovu, I'm picking up from what Nathi is saying, that there's been a different mix of reaction. Basically, political reaction has been messy, particularly here in KwaZulu-Natal. What are the implications of this judgment going to be in this province of KwaZulu-Natal?
I think the problem right now is that we don't have one ANC. We are saying, I don't know whether I should say 2 ANCs or 3 ANCs, but clearly the ANC has really not done a very good job in terms of managing these factions, or factionalism, I should say. The problem is that when you listen to ANC leaders, one gets the sense that we're talking about 2 different political parties, whereas it's one political party. So I think the challenge right now for the ANC is to find a way to speak with one voice. And also, let me add that I think when you look at how these factions have developed, they have not developed on the basis of ideological difference. But people in South Africa today speak of the politics of the stomach. So I think that is the major problem for the ANC, is that these factions are not developing on the basis of ideology.
Yeah.
So there's too much money involved, and people want to make as much money as possible. So a person would belong to a particular faction because the question for them is always, what is it for me? It's me.
And you heard that coming out very strongly in the funeral in Umzimkulu yesterday. Leaders saying that this is all about corruption. This is all about who gets inside the council so that they're able to dispense the patronage. Nathi Oliphant, let me come back to you. We know that the provincial leadership met with the top 6 officials of the ANC on Friday.
Indeed, yeah.
We know that on Monday, tomorrow, a special NEC is going to be meeting. You've already written a piece suggesting that we might see a provincial task team being installed in the province. How likely are we to see that scenario play out? Of a new
it stems from one of the officials that I spoke to naturally off the record, because there is fear that given short period, between now and December, how do you then intervene, in a way that will see a smooth structure, key structure of the ANC going to the conference. So his fears was that, they might say, guys, we're going to give you a tax team, to oversee the processes, especially preparing the branches, towards the December elective conference. So that was informed by that. I think the tax team itself, might be a contested terrain, because of who do you put there? Do you put the members of the applicants? Same people who've been presiding over the NEC, PEC, or the NEC members, whom some believe, are operating along the factional lines. So it's a delicate job, that the NEC is faced with. In fact, I believe this is a test, for them to say, I know Free State was different in 2012, but this time, the stakes are high, and there is everything that is being thrown into it.
Babdlov, exactly pick up for me on this point. So Nathi Oliphant is suggesting that it's highly likely that we may see a provincial task team being installed. The question is, how receptive will the leadership in KwaZulu-Natal be of that interim leadership, which is probably going to be drawn from all sides to try and foster this unity that is non-existent?
I think that the major challenge right now is that who do you bring to try and forge this unity? Because just about every ANC leader belongs to a particular faction. Right now, we don't have leaders in the ANC who are seen to be impartial. So the person that you bring, if maybe they bring people who are seen to be on the side of the faction that is in power in KwaZulu-Natal right now, maybe they would be receptive, they would welcome them. But if they are seen to be people who are close to
Cyril,
the Ramaphosa faction, for example, then it becomes a problem. Now, so they have to find a balance. And again, how do you strike that balance? Because, right now, there's just too much mistrust. I don't think that there's trust. And we've seen killings as well. So it's going to be a problem. I don't see how the ANC is going to solve this problem.
It's going to be a mess. Nathi, do you agree with that? That it's going to be messy because who really do you bring to KZN to install this provincial task team? You have people like Bheki Cele who have been speaking, and many would argue they've been speaking along the lines of a particular faction. You have people like Derek Hanekom who are, seen as being very vocal against state capture, and it might be said that they are linked to a Ramaphosa faction. In fact, he seems to be speaking highly of Cyril Ramaphosa. If you only have to look at his tweets to understand that Derek Hanekom might possibly be not an option for the ANC to try and bring down here to foster this unity. How likely are we, or who would we have as an acceptable grouping of people that would lead this province to the national conference?
It is very difficult, I don't know, it will take some sort of a miracle, to find people, whom the other side or any other side won't point fingers at. Remember, you are pressed for time. There are regions in the province that have not held their elective conference, and given that, you still have to hold, I believe, a nomination conference, but which structure, will be empowered enough or eligible enough to do that? You draw from NEC members. They already pointed finger that some of the NEC members who participated in the 2015 conference, they were speaking, in different voices, Even now, after the outcome of the court, one of them tweeted, saying they always knew all along that the elective conference was rigged, Then who do you find, Because even those who are seen as silent or sober-minded, naturally, they sit in branches or in certain structures, they are harboring certain views. And branches down, at the grassroots level, they know these things. They know them. They interact with them. They know where they come from. They know where they stand, and they know who they are, So who do you choose, So it's a challenge that NEC is going to have to grapple with tomorrow.
All right, let's pause there for a moment, gentlemen. After the break, we explore the implications of the judgment on the ANC's upcoming December National Elective Conference.